Well, guys, November is almost over and Christmas is almost here. I mean, Christmas is just right around the corner. And that means that cold weather is going to be setting in all over the United States. It already has in, up north and places like that, but down south, it's starting to get colder down here. We usually have about 2 to 3 really cold months down here down south, and usually some snow and some ice and power outages and things like that. But with this cold weather and these holidays like Christmas coming up, you have a lot of people who are going to be spending more time on the road, going to spend the holidays with family and friends and things like that, because just going to work is going to become more hazardous because snow and ice can happen. You can have hazardous driving conditions. Your vehicle can stall out, you can get stuck, and if you aren't prepared, if this happens, then you're going to be in a lot worse shape than you would be if you were prepared, obviously. But still yet, so many people don't prepare their vehicle for winter weather. Like, you get stuck and you may have to wait for several hours. You may have to wait all night, depending on where you are, for someone to come and get to you. And if that weather is really hazardous, like a lot of ice and things, and you have your cell phone, you can call, but it's still going to be difficult for someone to, come and get you or come and pull you out, depending on where you are and how bad the weather is. So it's a good idea to be prepared and have your vehicle prepared. We'll go in to my garage and we will talk about the kit that I think everyone should have. This isn't a be-all and end-all kit. Your kit should be tailored to you, your location, your family, how many people is going to be in your vehicle most of the time. So you might have more certain things than you do other things because you have, more people. So this kit I have is pretty much a basic kit that I keep in my truck here at all times. You also want to get your vehicle serviced. Right now is a good time. Take your vehicle in, get the oil changed, get the tires rotated and balanced, get the tires checked, get all the coolant checked and the antifreeze checked so it doesn't freeze over. Get your vehicle checked out really well. You want to also keep your tank full of gas if at all possible, and if it gets down, lower half a tank, fill it back up to a full tank. I try to keep a full tank pretty much all the time, and I very seldom get down below a half a tank of gas. You might need to use that to keep warm. If you get stuck and that weather getting down to in the teens, minus categories, minus 1, 2, 3, or God forbid, minus 40 if you're up north somewhere in Alaska, you can get temperatures that extreme. But you want to have that tank as full as possible if this does happen and you get stranded, so you can actually start your vehicle up and let it run for 10, 15 minutes every hour and then shut it back off to save that, and that will allow you to keep your vehicle, get it warmed up, and then you shut it back off, and that saves your gasoline. A lot of people will let it run, and then with the heater running constantly, and you run out of gas a lot more quickly that way. You may have to, if it's really, really cold, you may have to shut it off, let it run 10 minutes, let the heater run, shut it off 10 minutes and back on to maximize your gasoline that you have left, to maximize your time. Because if it's just cold weather and you can't use that heater, then it's going to be very, very rough. You get hypothermia. One of the tests for hypothermia, if you do like this and you can't do this, that's a bad sign. That's one of the signs that you're starting to have some serious issues with the cold. One of the first signs, of course, is shivering. It's your body trying to get heated back up, that shivering, shaking, but also your dexterity. That's another test. You don't want to get, hypothermia causing the cold. You can get frostbite. You may even get out of your vehicle if it gets bad enough and pull your clothes off and run around naked in the snow. It has happened because it affects your mind. So you want to keep your gasoline topped off at all possible, get your vehicle serviced, and guys, also you want to make sure that your tailpipe, your exhaust, is open, not closed up, not partially open. You want to make sure that it is completely open, let all exhaust come out of your vehicle, because if you go in the ditch, something like that, that could get clogged up, stopped up or something, and it might not be able to function properly, and that could be deadly if you're inside of your vehicle when that does happen. So you want to check that, especially if you run in the ditch or something like that and get stuck. You want to make sure that pipe is open and free of any debris, not half closed, not fully closed. You want it fully opened. Anyway, let's go in the house here, take a look at this kit that I think everyone should have in their vehicle, at all times. So guys, we'll start from this side and go this way. I keep this in my truck at all times. This is an EverStart jump starter. It also is an air compressor, as you can see here. It works, but the air compressor is really not all that impressive. It will air a tire up, but it's very, very slow, and it definitely drains the battery. The jump starting part of this thing works awesome. I had to use that about 2 weeks ago, actually, when my truck battery, it was gone and shot. Wouldn't hold a charge, wouldn't start the truck up. So I had to get this out and hook this to the battery and jump that truck off like that by myself without anyone else, just me and this jump starter in the truck. You don't need anyone like you do with these jumper cables over here, so we'll talk about those here in a few minutes. This had been in the truck for about 5 years. I got it, I charged it up. I should have made sure it was still charged up, but you put things away and you forget about it, like I did this. And then when I needed it, I remembered that I had it, and I was thinking, I hope that thing has held a charge, and full charge after that many years of being just in storage, in the heat, in the cold in the truck. It definitely helped its charge. Jump started that truck right off like that, and away I went. And I got a new battery, and you bring this back home and you want to keep this charged up. It just plugs into like an extension cord here. Very simple to operate. I forget how much I gave for this now. It was I'm thinking like $75 or something like that, maybe. I'm not 100% certain. Like I said, Walmart. And you can see here, plus and the minus. Jumper cables, these are good also. You get to have another vehicle, hook these to another vehicle battery and these to your vehicle frame and battery and jump start your vehicle. These are recommended, and so is this, because a lot of times in the winter, it's when your battery wants to go down. Something else is a fire extinguisher. You never know when you're going to need this. It's good to have one on hand. Tire sealant, as you can see here, is also good to have in your vehicle. So this is all about keeping your battery going, keeping, if you don't risk getting hurt, if your vehicle's on fire and it's something major, get away from it. Don't try to put it out with this. This is for something minor, even though it might not even be your vehicle. It could be something else you need this for, to help someone or something like that, to use this. But you got to know when to be safe, know when to walk away, and know when to run, as the saying goes. But jump starter, air compressor, fire extinguisher, tire sealant, an inflator. You can use this, and then you can use this to try to inflate your tires up. Jumper cables, sleeping bag is good. This is, depending on where you are at, you might want one that is rated more than this. This one is 10 to 30 degrees. So it's a good one for this location in most situations, especially inside your vehicle. But if you're up north, you might want to get one that is rated at a colder temperature. But a good sleeping bag, quilt, comforter, wool blanket is good. You want to also dress appropriately in the wintertime. You want to have on good warm socks, thermal underwear and things like that. A good heavy coat, good shoes, insulated boots, because you want to keep warm, because you never know when you're going to be stranded. But having a sleeping bag like this, or a blanket, or a comforter, or anything to keep you warm. I like a sleeping bag because you can get your body inside that and keep warm on both sides. So sleeping bag, definitely recommend it. Tow rope, you might need to be pulled out. Having a tow rope like this is an excellent idea, because if you get stuck, that's one of the main things that happens during the winter time. When you're out, you got ice, you got snow, you got rain sometimes, you got mud, so you can get stuck. Having a way to get pulled out is great, because a lot of people don't have anything like this, and someone might come through, with a four-wheel drive truck or something like that, and you'll be able to have this to hook to your vehicle and hook to their vehicle and get you out of the gym, and you can go on home maybe. Paper towels are good for multiple things. Keeping your hands clean, starting the fire outside if you need to, wiping your butt, wiping whatever you need to wipe, depending on if you're a male or a female, or somewhere in between. Also, a small hand towel is good. First aid kit, you can see here, it's a pretty good little first aid kit, and I don't remember where I got this kit at now, actually. I need to go through this and check to make sure everything is up to date. That's one reason I made this video, because I was getting all this out to check it myself to make sure I had everything was charged up and topped off. And I try to do that most winters. I forgot last winter, actually, I left this stuff in the vehicle all winter and didn't even look at it, which is kind of stupid and lax on my part. Definitely should not do that. So I decided to get this out here today and go through this, make sure, you know, like my jump starter was fully charged, everything. This was, you can see here, it's in the green. This is full, nothing, no leaks or anything like that. I'm gonna go through everything. I'll go through this first aid kit, make sure everything's good in it. Safety vest is also good because you might have to walk in certain circumstances. Most likely, in most circumstances, you're brought to stay in your vehicle, especially when it's cold, and call if your cell phone works, and most of the time they still will. So call your cell phone, try to get some help. If you need to be out working, or if you need to be spotted, you know, maybe you can have this on to be easier to spot at night if you're out, you know, beside the road, you broke down trying to work on your vehicle. A folding shovel is also great. This is a Glock shovel, actually, and you can see it needs to be cleaned because I use this. My mom had a water leak at her house, so I use this to dig down to that water pipe. This is the Glock shovel, and I made a video about this shovel when I first started this channel, and I beat this shovel against a tree. I tried to destroy this shovel, and I never could destroy this shovel. You can see it still works, still solid, and I'm still using this shovel today. This is the same one in a video that I posted 5, 6, 7 years ago, whenever it was, on this channel. It's hard to do this with one hand, guys, but this comes out here, so it makes it longer, and this will fold and lock in different positions. It has a saw inside this also, and you can see I don't let my tools just stay pretty. I don't put my tools up and not use, you know, where I have to test it. But I tested this shovel, and like I said, I beat this shovel against trees. I tried to destroy this shovel. I tried to destroy the locking mechanism here, and it's still as good as it was when I bought it. I mean, absolutely amazing, the Glock shovel. You might want to have some anti-freezing coolant. This is the 50/50. This is what was available when I picked this up. It works. You know, if you have a leak or something like that, you might need to add this to your radiator. If your vehicle is hot and it's steaming over, you don't want to open up that cap, because if you do, it's a lot of pressure under that. You could get really some severe burns if you open that cap up before it cools down. So you may have to shut your vehicle off and let it cool down before you open that cap up and try to add some more to it, because if it's hot and steamy, you can see that steam coming up under your hood, then you know there's a lot of pressure inside of that radiator and those hoses. And you open that up and you have some severe burns. So be careful about that when you have to add, you know, some coolant. Cigarette lighter, some waterproof matches. You can see here in a waterproof container, plus a lighter, some extra socks because you might get wet and you want to keep your feet warm. I forgot to bring the gloves in. I keep gloves in the thick winter gloves in the glove compartment of the truck. I forgot to bring those in. Sorry about that, guys. This is in the back seat usually. Sometimes I go in the front seat depending on, you know, what's going on. But anyway, this goes in my truck, and behind my seat is large areas. Under the seats is large areas in the back. And I can fit all this in there mostly. This, like I said, goes in the seat because it won't fit back there. And I just put this in the floorboard, the back floorboard of the truck. Some duct tape, electrical tape, always good. Some toilet paper. This isn't necessary because you have, you know, this, but I like to have some of this on hand also. Some granola bars to eat because, you know, you might get hungry. I like a good angle head flashlight to keep in the truck. I got this in that Tractor Supply. You can get these, you know, military ones. You can see it has red, green, blue, red, green, blue. Down at the bottom there, you can click that and it's like a regular flashlight. So you might need, you know, different colors to signal for help or whatever. A large candle. This inside the vehicle, you know, if you crack your window just a little bit so you don't die in your vehicle from, you know, lack of oxygen, you can have this and light this and keep a little warm in your vehicle maybe. So that's add some extra light. So that's something to think about. A battery powered lantern. These are good. These are excellent right here. And the price, these are about, I forget what I gave for this now, but they're under $35, I think, as far as I can remember. I have two of these. And I think they're like $17, $18 actually. Excellent, bright. These, I got these at Walmart actually. Unless you can still find these little things or not. But these open up when you pull the top open, you can see. And it still works. So that provides some safe light inside that vehicle. In the wintertime, I like to take and fill this full of hot coffee before I leave the house. And you can have, you know, hot coffee for a pretty good while. And the hot coffee will warm you up on the inside. It's a good morale booster if you have that, you know, hot coffee. Pour you a cup of coffee and smell that. And it definitely gives you a mental boost to have, you know, some hot coffee in your truck every day before I leave the house. You know, I'll fill this up and take this with me, because you never can tell when you're going to need that. And that holds, you know, quite a few cups of coffee. So that's pretty much it. I mean, there's other things you could add to your kit, and it would depend on what you need, where you are, how bad the weather actually gets, what kind of vehicle you have. You know, if you have a bigger vehicle, if you have a car and a trunk, you can put most of this stuff inside of a plastic tote with a lid, tight fitting lid, seal it down, put this in the trunk of your car and have this ready to go all the time. So different ways you can put this in your vehicle, but it's good to have, you know, a good, like I said, a good kit like this, just in case you get stranded in the wintertime. But anyways, guys, if you liked the video, give it a big thumbs up, greatly appreciate it. If you have subscribed, be sure to do that. And leave a comment below, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video, hopefully.